All right. We're live on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Welcome, everyone. It's our 30-minute Q&A session this morning with you. We have Dennise as well, our Spanish translator. We're going to get into the topic for today. So come on in. I'm Ify, your go-to immigration lawyer. Hola, Dennise.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Welcome. This is a beautiful day to be here. I'm happy and let's start this together. Muy bien, estamos listos.
Sí. Gracias. Today's topic is real quick. We're looking in the comments for your questions, especially those of you on TikTok, because I already see the questions coming in. So we're going to jump into the topic, which is, can I get a tourist visa when I have a pending petition? If I tell you how many times I get this question at this law firm, so it's amazing that we're talking about it today. If you're wondering if you can apply for a tourist visa, a non-immigrant visa while you have a pending petition, make sure you tune into this live because I'm going to tell you the different risks plus benefits of applying for a non-immigrant visa to enter the USA. All right?
Muy bien, entonces en este live vamos a explicar cuál sería el riesgo y los beneficios de aplicar para una visa de turista una vez que ya tenemos un proceso pendiente. Si tú ya hiciste una solicitud y ahora quieres una visa de turista, quédate con nosotros. Aquí te vamos a explicar todo.
Sí, gracias, Dennise. So now you all know a tourist visa is a temporary non-immigrant visa. It's not a green card. It allows you to enter the USA, my bad, temporarily so that you can visit your family for holiday and things like that, okay? So for this temporary visa, you need to show that you're going to return to your country, you have ties in your country, and that's how you get approved, right? But for those of you who apply for a tourist visa during when you have a pending petition, there's some risks there because you already have immigrant intent. So if you're claiming, I'm going to return to my country, I have a non-immigrant intent to basically apply for this, that's going to affect what are you saying? This is like misrepresentation. You're not being truthful about your intention because you do have an immigrant intent, but in your temporary application, your tourist visa application, you're, basically saying I'm coming for a temporary visit, I'm going to return. But, are you? That's the big question. So there are risks to applying for a tourist visa with your petition because it could just create that misrepresentation that could then be on your record and in the future affect your green card application. Understood?
Muy bien, entonces aquí sería el punto si tú puedes o no aplicar cuando ya tienes un proceso directo en espera. Muy bien, si quieres una visa de turista, lo cual significa que es un permiso temporal para entrar al país, puedes venir de vacaciones, puedes visitar familiares, pero tienes que demostrar que tienes los lazos o la necesidad de volver a tu país y que no te vas a quedar dentro de Estados Unidos. Como tú ya tienes un proceso para migración dentro de Estados Unidos, solicitar la visa de turista es riesgoso porque puede dejar una mancha en tu récord como que estás tratando de evadir o ocultar la verdad ante el gobierno. Eso puede afectar tu solicitud de Green Card a largo plazo. Muy bien.
Muy bien. Entonces, I'm gonna let you all know that if you need any personalized discussion about your case, you can book a consultation with me. I'm Ify. I'm a licensed USA immigration attorney. So for those of you who have immigrant intent, meaning you have a pending petition and you've been waiting for several years and you haven't been able to come in to see your spouse, there are other types of visas you could consider. All right. So a B1, B2 tourist visa may not be your best option, but if you're thinking of how can I just see my spouse, during this time, or how can I speed up the process, you can definitely reach out to me to talk about your options to do that. For right now, some possible outcomes for you is that your tourist visa may be approved because sometimes B1, B2 could be for medical reasons. So if you have a medical emergency, for example, there's a possibility that your, your application could get approved, which is fine. This is why every case is different. All right. Not, if you're just coming in just because you miss your spouse and then you're making up all these scenarios that aren't true just to get approved for a non-immigrant visa, when your true intent is to really apply for the immigrant visa, right? Because once the I-130 gets approved, the next step is to get your green card, right? So there's a confusion there. So it is possible that you could get the temporary visa if there's an emergency reason that you really need that visa, and this will all be explained on your record. Because keep in mind, guys, anything that you do from the moment you enter this country up until you get your green card is on record. They're going to consider that. In fact, up until citizenship, actually, because they keep on checking your records to make sure you're a person of good moral character before you can even qualify to naturalize and become a U.S. citizen. All right. So make sure you're not misrepresenting yourself just to get one benefit over the other. In my personal opinion, I would say just wait for your petition to be approved and then apply for whatever visa, whether it's a K1 visa, which is also non-immigrant, by the way, or your spousal visa. Which is your green card. So just be patient. Find out if there are any other options for you in between, but patience is going to be key with this one, so that you can just prevent any confusions in the future. All right.
Muy bien, entonces sí hay ocasiones en las que podemos acelerar el proceso para que sea aceptado un poco más rápido, pero realmente no sabemos si eso conviene a todos los casos. Cada petición es diferente y si tú tienes la necesidad de saber si tu caso necesita la representación de un abogado, acércate directamente con IFI. Estamos aquí para apoyarte. Y entonces la recomendación aquí sería, si tú ya tienes un proceso iniciado y solamente estás en espera de poder ver o reunirte con tu esposo, esperar, la paciencia es la recomendación número 1, pero sí hay maneras de acelerar tu proceso y aquí vamos a seguir hablando de ello. Muy bien.
Okay, gracias. So now we have a few more minutes in this live to answer your questions. I see a lot of questions coming in on TikTok. We're going to start the Q&A segment of this live, which is my favorite, so that we can get you some clarity as much as we can in this public forum, so that you can understand what your options are. So feel free to ask any questions relating to family-based immigration. If you want to know about non-immigrant visas, I can definitely guide you there. A K1 visa is a non-immigrant visa because it's not a green card, right? But it's a dual intent type of non-immigrant visa, because if you were to come into the USA with a K1, stay with your fiance for 90 days and determine that you're really going to get married. Once you get married, you can then switch to a green card, which is adjust, right? That's the whole adjustment of status process. You're adjusting from one visa to the next, right? So this is the only type of non-immigrant visa that such a transition is allowed. Actually, let me not say the only. I think there's H-1B, which is non-immigrant, but that's employment-based. Okay, here at this law firm, we do family-based immigration. So if you're in a K-1 visa process, meaning you're engaged to a U.S. citizen, you're going to get a non-immigrant K-1 visa to come in, get married, and switch your status to permanent residency. All right, so that one's different, but let's get into the questions. Entonces.
Muy bien, entonces la única visa que le permite a usted quedarse que no es de migración sería la K1, pero en realidad es un intento de migración porque viene usted como prometida, se casa y después se usa el ajuste de estatus. Aquí vamos a seguir ya con la sección de preguntas y respuestas y pues escríbanos en los comentarios, estamos listos.
Sí, gracias. So I see a question about, we're on TikTok right now. Let me know if there are any questions from Instagram. I'm checking so I can make sure everyone gets an answer today as much as we can. So I see one on Instagram from KV Spotton. Thank you for being here, KV. The question says, my wife's I-130 petition got approved, but her I-485 is still pending. Does that mean anything? A short answer, KV, is no, because sometimes they approve these things in segments like that. So doesn't necessarily mean that they're not going to approve the I-485. You're just going to have to wait some more. All right. I hope you got your work permit and your travel permit. So you should be able to continue living and waiting until your I-485 gets approved. All right. Thank you very much. Dennise, you see any questions that I can answer really quickly? I'm just scrolling from the very top so I don't miss any questions.
I see every kill. He
Eureka.
has been
Okay.
here. Every kill. Yes, give
Oh,
us a thumbs up if you're still here.
you're still here.
Is
About the SIJS.
mhm.
Okay. Is SIJS in family court usually easy? Okay, that's SIJS is a special immigrant juvenile, which is for people who are under 18 who don't have guardians, who have been abandoned, and they don't have any status. They're usually able to get protection by the states, which gives them status essentially. So with family court, I wouldn't say it's easy or hard. Just depends on who you're working with in terms of experience, just to be able to get the types of documents that you need to prove that you've been abandoned. Essentially, that's going to be the true test, right? Like, are you now a ward of the state? So that's going to be the main thing to prove here. So if this is not something you'll be able to do on your own, I don't think you need an attorney for sure. So definitely reach out if you need help with SIJS, which is part of family-based migration, because we are helping children who are not able to receive any care from their family and need protection from the government, to be able to stay here, work, and live, and all of that. So it leads to a green card, or it's not quite a green card yet, but it does lead to a green card. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
So, all right. I see a
Give us
question
a
from,
thumbs up if you're still here.
yeah, thank you. Is it Uric L or Eureka?
Eureka. Eureka. Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
Eureka.
Okay. All right. Well, thank
Cool.
you.
Whose
Let's look
question?
at the question. I see a question from Instagram. I'm going to read in a bit, but I see more on TikTok. Let's get this one on Instagram first from Mr. Mensa. Mr. Mensa, thank you for being here, for watching this live. I'm going to read this. It says, what's the best way of obtaining a green card if you came to the country as a child and never had documentation due to your parents' lack of knowledge? And what was the best way to obtain a green card? Okay. So if you came into this country as a child and I'm not sure how old you are now, Mr. Mensa. I'm wondering if you could have qualified for DACA at some point, because generally people who come in when they are, as children without they didn't have any consent. Basically, they couldn't decide how they were going to come in. If you didn't have any status, that was what DACA was for, to give you that deferred action to protect you from deportation so that you could stay here. It's not quite a green card, but at least you're protected from deportation. You can have your work permit and now your travel permit. A lot of DACA recipients are able to get their travel permits now. But if your parents, I'm not sure what visa you came in on. If your parents have any kind of green card or citizenship, maybe that might be your option. So reach out to me. Let's discuss more in detail, because we need to know how old you are now, what status your parents are on, or if you came in with a visa, without a visa, those types of things. Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
And
I
I
see
see one from Moraima 95 in TikTok.
Moraima 95.
She's
Okay.
like, "Hi, I'm a citizen, American citizen. Can I petition for my husband if he has been deported twice?"
Oh,
I think I
that
know the
was
answer for that.
complicated. What do you think the answer is, Dennise?
Okay, so once deported once, there is a chance. Twice, there is a bar for at least 10 years. That's the
Right,
info I got.
right. Correct,
There are
correct.
ways of trying around, right? But like,
Well, so I think let me add a few things there. Well, potentially because the twice thing is more for people who entered without a visa. So I'm wondering if he entered without a visa twice and got deported twice, or did he enter with a visa once, got deported for whatever reason, and then we need to know what was the reasons for the deportation. But usually, when things happen more than once, is usually some type of permanent bar, which we can still try to work around, but you definitely need an experienced attorney for that. I see my bestie Gilbert Immigration Law Firm. Hello.
mhm.
Thank you for the hearts. Yes, definitely excited to be able to go live and answer these questions. So let's scroll for more and see who we can answer. I see Grace. What about that one?
Yes. Yes, Grace, how can I approve a legal entry without an I-94 or a stamp on my passport?
How can I prove legal entry? Great question, Grace. I'm assuming you are planning on adjusting your status because in order for you to adjust your status, you need to show that you entered with a visa. So, if you don't have the stamp on your passport, you probably, I'm sure you got paroled. If you needed to have had some type of evidence of your entry. If you got paroled, if you entered with a visa, we should be able to trace your I-94 online, or there's a form that you can apply to actually request for your entry records. So there's going to be different methods we can try to get that, as long as you enter this country with a visa and you still have your passport. Okay. Usually it's more difficult if people have lost their passports, because we've faced those types of issues before. Then you don't have the passport number. Even if you have a new passport, it's just more challenging, but there's always a way to track this thing. Okay. They keep good records, and we're going to be able to do something, FOIA something, and we'll find it. All right. Thanks for your question, Grace.
And we have one Facebook question from
Yeah.
Chaviate. I hopefully I'm pronouncing it properly. Like, hello, good day. What if USCIS sends your RFE to a wrong address and years later they deny the whole application? After the denial, they called and they said they will send another, but since they're nothing 20 days ago.
Oh, wow. So years later, he got denied. That was like how many years? It's This is why it's important to always update your address with USCIS, guys, because they're always, most of this stuff we do is by mail. So if they don't, if you don't receive your mail, if you don't receive a notice from them and they don't hear from you, 4 years, dang, 4 years. What kind of, what was going on with this case?
But I
I-130.
mean, if they were the ones making the mistake, like sending it to a wrong address, she's saying they did
Did they
updated the
update the
address.
address? Sometimes it takes USCIS a while to also update the address. So if you send it by mail, it's also good to call them on phone to try to get someone to make sure that they have your correct address, because they always confirm those things with you. That is unfortunate, because it could very well just be their mistake, because it takes a while to update with USCIS. So y'all just keep in mind that USCIS is not a perfect agency. All right, this is a government run agency with limited funding, and I didn't even mention in the beginning about the form fee increase. I was discussing with someone this weekend about the form fee increase. Is just because the USCIS is solely run by these fees, and so in order to improve their performance, because clearly the backlog is ridiculous, they need to increase the fees so they can get more people. So they're just an agency over here. Sometimes they lose paperwork. Like, you just file and then it'll just take years. You never hear from them. So that's why we follow up with them. We call. You have to sometimes have to sue them. Like, it could take even that. So definitely reach out to us. We can do
There is something to do about it.
we can do a case takeover and try to figure out what the heck is going on here. Because when there's a USCIS error that's causing unnecessary delays for you, once we make that known to them, they would immediately just give you a decision, because that's one of the reasons to expedite, actually. USCIS
Yeah.
error. Okay. Sorry about the 4 year 4 year
Yes, but
confusion.
you have I fear right now. Don't miss it.
So yeah. But thank you very much. Is it Achabi Ade? Okay, that's definitely a
Gotcha.
Nigerian name. Thank you for watching and for being here. I see one from Sash. Let's see. That's on TikTok. Or is there any other one from
Yes, I
Instagram?
see
I
the
believe.
one from Sash. Well, it was the second
Okay.
ago. Okay. Hi, can you travel to the US territory like PR with a work permit along with driver license Puerto Rico?
Oh, Puerto Rico. With a work permit along with your driver's license. Do you have a travel permit? Because if you're out of status or if you're in a pending I-45, just make sure you have a travel permit to go around. Now, these places are also, like you said, U.S. territories, right? You're still within the USA per se. But one of my clients asked me the other day, can I go to Alaska? Because I believe Alaska, you have to cross like Canada or something like that. Even though still a U.S. state, my advice to any immigrant who, if you're not just going from, I don't know, Maryland to California, even at that, with the new laws they're passing right now, just make sure you have something on your person that protects you from any type of uh, harassment or just
Deportation.
yeah, because within one of my clients going from Phoenix, Arizona, Phoenix to like somewhere in Texas by bus, told me one day that they got pulled over and they were asking them for their papers and stuff. I was really surprised. I was like, really? Like this is within the USA by bus, okay? So if it's anywhere you're gonna have to fly to, just to be on the safe side, make sure you have your travel permit, at least, just that's easy to get, because you don't have to specify. I got that question a lot in the Facebook group, actually. You don't really have to specify where you're going, or that go to one particular place per travel permit. You get a travel permit for a year, and then you can just, travel to different places. So just get one, just to be on the safe side. Okay. So you don't also, they consider you, what's that word? Abandoning, yes. They consider you abandoning your I-45 if you were to travel without a travel permit and you have a pending I-485. Just just be safe with that. Yeah. All right. I think we have a few more minutes. We can get to some more questions. This is from Mendoza. What's that one say? Mendoza Nunez
I don't
on
see
TikTok.
it in TikTok.
Oh, Jay Mendoza. Yeah. Okay. I see it. I'll read it.
Okay.
Um, he said, my wife sent her I-45 March 2023 with medical and biometrics. She received her EAD. How long for approval? Jay Mendoza, I don't really know. It's really hard to say when it comes to USCIS and their approval timelines because it really just depends. Okay. March 2023, I guess that was a whole year ago, and you send everything. It's March now. So maybe it's taking 12 months, it seems like, for you. Well, hopefully you hear something soon since it's been 12 months. But I can't really just tell you when it's gonna be approved or anything. Okay? I hope that helps.
Yes.
And for those of you who are on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, well, not TikTok, Instagram, my number is on the screen. You can give me a call if you need further guidance, personalized guidance. For those of you on TikTok, it's going to be linked in my bio so that you can get one-on-one time. Because here I'm just trying to like rush through so many questions, which I was live earlier today, still so many questions. It's like we can't, it's just tough to get through all of them and just be like, yes, finally we're done. Because people are just coming in and all of that. So, uh,
Endless questions.
yes, I
And
appreciate
that's
you all for.
good. We're here for that.
I love it. I love it. I appreciate y'all for doing it, but it's like we try to do it as many times in a week as we can, and try to answer as many questions as we can. So hopefully you're getting some value from this. Just put it on your calendar or somewhere if you want to come every week. We're here Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11 a.m. Within 11 to 11:30 for that whole hour. We're going to answer your questions and give you some tips as well to help those of you who are waiting for your green card or who at least have the intent to apply for a green card at some point. All right. David, let's see a question from David on TikTok.
Okay, David
Says,
Calderon. If I
oh,
marry with a green card holder, can I get
uh-huh.
the benefit too, even if I'm in the USA? I'm
Mm,
guessing he does not have a status,
that is right.
but
So, well, a permanent resident can apply for their spouse, but you don't just get the benefit automatically for marrying a permanent resident, right? They have to also apply through the I-130 petition process. So, yes, you can get the benefit, but you have to apply. Now, Calderon, David, will need to know your current status though, because the one thing about your permanent resident spouse filing for you is that you need to be in current status. If you're out of status, right? And maybe we should tell this to our Espanol audience as well. If you're out of status and you're married to a permanent resident, your I-485 is going to be denied because you are not able to adjust your status based on that alone. You need to currently be in status, whether it's F1, B1, B2, whatever, before you applied, so that works. But if your spouse is a U.S. citizen, whether you're out of status, in status, whatever, you're able to get some type of forgiveness or waiver, availability, things like that. Okay?
muy bien. Entonces, aquí el punto sería que si tú estás casado con un ciudadano, perdón, con un residente permanente, no un ciudadano, sí te pueden dar tu permiso de trabajo y los beneficios, pero no te extiende directamente para el ajuste de estatus que tú puedes brindar la Green Card. En cambio, si eres esposo o prometido de un ciudadano americano, ahí hay sí la manera de solicitar tu Green Card y promover un perdón en medio del proceso.
Gracias. Thank you, Dennise. I see one question that popped up from Peach. That's actually related to what we're talking about today, because we're talking about applying for a tourist visa when you have an ongoing petition. Peach is asking, does USCIS check your DS 160 when you apply for your B1 B2 visa? And yes, Peach, the USCIS does check every single application you've ever put in for immigration whenever they're considering your green card. So if you put on your B1, B2 that you were married, okay, and then you come into the USA and marry somebody else, they're going to ask you for your divorce certificate from that spouse that you say you were married to, okay? So they do check your DS 160 application because that is your B1, B2 non-immigrant visa application. Okay, DS 260 is for immigrant visas. DS 160 is for non-immigrant. Make sense? Okay. Yeah. So I figured Peach says I'm applying for marriage-based green card. I was like, yeah. So I know what you're asking. They're going to definitely check that one. So if you said anything that does not align, prepare yourself for any potential misrepresentation. Um, uh, I want to say just misrepresentation charges. It's not quite a charge, but it is. They'll figure that stuff out. Okay. All right. So, entonces,
Entonces, muy bien. Ellos, si usted quiere aplicar a su ajuste de estatus a través de una visa de matrimonio, pero no coinciden las versiones, por ejemplo, si estuvo casado antes y ahora viene adentro del país y se casa con alguien más, ellos le van a pedir un certificado de divorcio para comprobar que usted ya está libre y se puede casar en Estados Unidos. Si eso en dos aplicaciones diferentes hay una versión distinta, puede realmente comprometer y puede haber cargos por mentir ante la corte.
okay, gracias, Dennise.
Gracias.
I think we've finally gotten to the point where we'll have to to end because I do have a consultation actually coming up. So I still see more questions, and we can definitely do this again. We're doing it on Thursday again. Oh, I didn't even mention, this was on my heart to mention as soon as we started, to talk about today is my daughter's birthday, guys. This is like,
Yay!
yes, today is my daughter's birthday.
Bravo.
She's 17 today. And so after this, I'm doing the live consultation. I'm going to take her out. But I just wanted to make sure we did the live at least for 30 minutes, give you the time for today. But on Thursday, we're going to have more time together, at least an hour. We usually go for longer, and we're able to answer more questions. So thank you all for being here today and for just supporting us, for the follows, the likes, the shares, and everything else. Appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. My team, Dennise,
Gracias.
amazing. Gracias. Thank you very much. So I will hop on to my consultation now. It was great today, and I'll see you on Thursday. All right. Thank you
Yay.
so much. All right. Bye bye.
Bye.